In this video, I want to go through the 9 pillars of health mastery to show you the types of things that you're going to be needing to look at and consider, change, work on, whatever word you want to give it, in order to really fully restore health. And in my experience, there are several areas of our life which we need to focus on. And I've just divided it into 9 areas, and I call this the 9 pillars of health mastery. And you also have this as a separate program inside the portal. But this video goes into more detail into what it is that we have to do to get ourselves well, and why sometimes it can take a while to get well, even though on the other hand, we can do things which instantaneously or very quickly start to clear our symptoms. But once we understand this bigger picture perspective of the various areas of our life which we need to address, then things start to become clear. And in this program, we will be going through, or you will be learning, certain techniques which relate to different areas or these different areas. And I'm going to be explaining which areas we can address in this program and which areas we may not be able to, and I will explain why that is. So the first thing is stress management. We need to start to really understand what is stress, what does stress feel like inside me, what is it that triggers stress, what are the lifestyle habits and lifestyle behaviors that I do in my life that have nothing to do with anybody else, but they're just my own habits. What is it that I'm doing that is perpetuating my stress or re-triggering stress or triggering me into stress? And this is really important because, as I've talked about in other videos, stress really underpins illness because the body's in the fight-flight response, and then that actually inhibits the healing response, and it's damaging to the internal organs and tissues and cells. And so we really have to retrain ourselves to not live in a stress state. And what I found personally is that it actually takes longer to really fundamentally fully resolve stress than it does to reduce and clear symptoms. And that is because this pattern of stress goes back a long, long time, back into our childhood, back into infancy. And it's a very primary survival system in our body, which is running on stress. And this can take time to change. So please don't expect your stress to disappear overnight, because it won't. This takes many months and years of training, but that doesn't mean we can't reduce symptoms relatively quickly. So stress management is one of the components of this program and of what I teach in general. The second thing is emotional management. We really have to learn how to manage our emotions and how to identify the emotions which are hiding beneath symptoms. And as you're going to discover in this program, one of the main reasons for symptoms is missed emotions and not recognizing what we're feeling, and not recognizing what we're feeling about a particular situation and not doing anything about that situation. And unless we do whatever it takes to prevent our body having to send us emotions, then the body is going to continue to send emotions, because as you will learn, there's a difference between primary and secondary emotions, and primary emotions are survival emotions, and they're there to keep us safe, and they're there to keep us on track. They're like an internal satellite satellite navigation system. They're there to give us vital information about ourselves and about our life and about our environment, and they're there to prompt us to do what is right for us in order to take care of ourselves. So we must learn emotional management, and that means we have to learn how to become aware of what we're feeling and how to deal with the situations which are triggering the emotions, but also how to self-process those emotions out of us ourselves. And we can learn to do that. And we will be, or you will be learning how to do that in this program. And then if you want to get more sophisticated information and more in-depth knowledge on how to do that, then you can delve into other programs in the Emotional Alchemy Academy. But you will learn what is necessary in this program to start working on and dissolving your emotions. Then we have to look at our lifestyle. And that means what we're doing in our everyday life, how we're living our life on a daily basis, what we're doing, how much we're doing, how much we're being, how busy are we, how much are we resting, how much are we taking care of ourselves, what is our work-life balance like. This is all what I put under lifestyle management. And the bottom line is, if we are breaking the laws of health, which I talk about in another video, if we're breaking the laws of health and we're going against what is good for us, then the body is going to react by going into stress and triggering emotions and then creating symptoms. It's just how it's designed to work. So we have to discover, well, what is the right lifestyle for me to maintain my health? Now, within that also, we're going to have to look at people management. We may have to learn how to manage the people in our life which are causing stress. And that could be at home, it could be partner, it could be children, it could be friends, it could be at work, it could be in many different areas of your life. But we're going to have to learn how to manage people, which comes back to learning how to manage ourselves, and in particular how to manage our feelings and also how to manage our communication with other people, and potentially how to assert ourselves, how to create clear boundaries, how to put a stop to unfair behavior and treatment. And I cannot tell you how much this is essential if we have chronic illness, and how many hundreds of people I have worked with who, just by changing how they manage people in their life and how they manage their lifestyle, can dramatically reduce symptoms. So we're going to be looking at this. We then have to increase our self-management. We have to become much more aware of our levels of self-care and what that really means. For example, if you're not feeding your body when it's hungry and it says it wants food, or if you're not resting when your body says, I need to rest, or if you're not having enough fun and you're always working, or if you're not drinking when your body needs liquids, or if you're not saying caring nice things to yourself and you're always putting yourself down and criticizing yourself, these are all self-care. And so we're going to have to increase our self-care, because if we don't, the body is going to create primary emotions such as frustration, and they will build up to become symptoms. The next thing is we're going to have to look at trauma, and we do this in the life inventory. But in this program, we don't delve into trauma management per se, because this is something that really needs to be done one-on-one. However, what we do in this program is become aware of the effects of traumas that have happened to us, and to work out what emotions these traumas have created inside of us that may still be there and unresolved. So we do some more awareness building around the traumas that have happened to us in our life, and in particular around the effects that has had on us emotionally and stress-wise. But as far as doing deep trauma healing work, this is not what this program is about. That is not really possible to do in a group program like this. That is something that you need one-to-one help for. The next thing that we need to learn about is energy management, which means how we manage our energy, and that will tie in with lifestyle management. But I will be bringing in an introduction to the concept of chi and prana, life force energy, which is what our body is running on at a quantum level. So science has proven now that if you go below the molecule and the atom, there is what is called a quantum level or quantum physics. And really we can say that this energy is our fuel. And if we're wasting our energy and draining our energy, which we do in various ways, then that will lead towards illness. So there will be an introductory element to energy management. The next thing that we need to also consider is mind management, and that means becoming more aware of our self-talk and our continuous habitual thoughts and thought patterns. And as we know, we have around 70,000 thoughts a day, and obviously we're not really aware of most of those thoughts. But we need to start to become more aware of what is going through our mind on a continual basis and start to change our thinking from anything that is negative to something more positive, and also become aware of some of the unconscious beliefs that may be running in the background. So we also make a start on this in this program. And the last area of our life, which really we don't cover in this program, but it is important to be aware of, is our spiritual self. And that will be different for each person and often is tied to our religion or our philosophical beliefs or whatever that is for us. And that is all totally unique to each person. So really these last levels of the 9 pillars of health mastery, they tend to get covered or will be covered in other EAA programs. For example, the energy management is covered in great depth in my Qigong trainings, and the mind management will be covered in the mind mastery program, as well as spiritual management will come into that too. But the main thing that we need to focus on in order to reduce symptoms is really numbers 1 to 5. These are the main areas that I found people need to focus on in order to get rid of their symptoms. We need to look at how we manage people. We need to look at how we manage ourselves. We need to reassess our lifestyle. We need to look at how we are dealing with our emotions, and we need to reduce stress. And these are really the core areas of this program that you'll be focusing on in order to restore your body back to homeostasis. And then the other levels beyond that, from 6 to 9, we will be touching on them because it's important to mention some of the concepts, but this is not the main focus of this program. So I hope this has given you an insight into the areas of your life that you're going to be focusing on during this program. And of course, this will all become clearer as we go through the modules and go through the exercises that you were given, and you start implementing the exercises that you're given. It will all become clear. Right now, I realize at the start of the program that you don't have a clear understanding like I do, and that would be impossible. So don't worry about that. Just trust in the process and just follow along one lesson at a time, one module at a time, and everything will fall into place.